since I've done one of these. And it's the 2023 sequel to the surprise hit from 2019, Shazam. This is Shazam Fury of the Gods from 2023. Is this movie perfect? No. It could have been much better, but it could also have been a lot worse. And, I really wish this was Shazam versus Black Adam, but, it's too late now. Maybe they'll try it in the second go around with the DCU with James Gunn, because, they could recast Shazam, if anything, or bring back Zachary Levi. I never know. He was upset that this movie flopped, but it came out during the pandemic. So there was nothing they can do. The Rock's ego got in the way, and there was no Black Adam versus Shazam, which would have been an epic fight. But what we got is not the worst thing ever. There's the logo. It's long. It's 2 hours and 10 minutes. So for Women's Month, let's do it. There's a title. I saw this one in the theater, just like the first one. Yes, this one bombed just like the Marvels. But a month later, we got Mario, and I was very happy about that. I was so successful. That sequel's going to make so much. And I can't wait. In 3 days. That's why there's 3 women in this movie. That's the staff from the first movie. Actually, no, you're not. There were some changes I was not a fan of, like one, making Pedro gay. That was not needed in the film. And also that there's barely Billy Batson barely gets any screen time in this movie compared to Zachary Levi. There's Helen Mirren and Lucy Liu. Once this flopped, I knew the DCU was dead, because the Flash flopped, and Blue Beetle didn't stand a chance. That did even worse than this. And Aquaman 2 did okay, but it didn't make $1 billion like the first one. My mom forgot that there was a sequel to Shazam, but there isn't. Also, they're stealing something in a museum, just like in Black Panther. Remember that Killmonger did that? It's like whispering a virus in her ear. This is how COVID spread, through the mouth. It's an interesting opening. It's kind of like The Happening, except that was not taken seriously. Just because this flopped, that doesn't mean your career's over, Zachary Levi. You can bounce back. But you got to keep your mouth shut. You and other people that are in this movie, you need to just chill. Because guess what? It's not the end of the world. There's 2 characters in this movie that are still in the new DCU. We'll get to that at the end credits. Even the opening of Mario did the same thing. That Bowser steals the MacGuffin of the film. The superstar. That I'm glad I didn't miss in the theater because it was legendary. Everybody turned to stone. And I would rather watch this again than Clash of the Titans or Wrath of the Titans. Because those suck. The remake and the sequel. Neither one was good. They were both bad films. I hope that Lucy Liu has another hit movie because she had this. This was a flop, and Red One was a flop as well. Even though that's going to be a Christmas classic in the future. And it's Zachary Levi. We know Zachary Levi. You don't have to tell it. I like the costume. The new costume looks cool. He's talking to a pediatrician, not a psychologist. Marvel has some problems in 2023 as well because yes, he's a doctor for babies and kids. He's not a psychiatrist. Black Adam, I liked it. I liked it for what it was. You know, I did a podcast for that movie. We know that was the first one. They could bring this character back. Josh was like, it'll never happen. Zachary Levi doesn't even welcome. Everybody's welcome. Look at what happened with Tobey Maguire. He did Spider-Man 3 and came back. Spider-Man 3 was one of the most hated sequels after 2 because people loved 2 so much. So when 3 came out, they were disappointed. But Tobey came back. Hugh Jackman came back. They killed Logan off and he came back. Never say that character can't come back. The one who can never come back is Chadwick Boseman because he died. But except for that, every character can come back if there's a demand for them. Any character can come back. Also, Michelle Borth, I miss her in this movie because she was adult, Mary. Now it's just Grace Fulton, who I like. I think she's gorgeous. But her changing is just her in a costume. It doesn't, like, she doesn't get older or anything. She's the same age. And the kids, they went from, like, kids to teenagers in this movie. Freddie, yeah. He has a huge part in this movie, Jack Dylan Glazer. Yeah, Darla's, she's legal now, so don't tell me anything. The girl that plays Darla, the kid version, she's like 18 now, so. It's not a kid anymore. She's a woman now. She's 18 now, so. Because this sequel was not a year later. It was like several years later. So, of course, just like the Marvels, it didn't stand a chance. Yeah, they did this character dirty, man. Seriously. I liked Pedro in the first film. He's not in it much, but he's the one character that they get like, wow, you couldn't make him interesting, so you had to do that. DC, that's not going to work a second time. We don't need a gay Green Lantern. It's not needed. We don't need bisexual Harley Quinn. That's done. It didn't work the last time. It's not going to work here. It only worked in the cartoon because that cartoon's not for kids. They still do look like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield from another timeline. Grace Fulton looks exactly the same age as she did in the first one. Because she was a woman in the first one. She was like in her 20s. The one performer in this movie that can't act is Darla as an adult. She's horrible. Has some of the worst dialogue in the movie. So like I said, there's problems. But I don't hate this movie. Shazam! Yeah. Please stop acting, Megan Good. You're not good at it. Just stay with Jonathan Majors and just leave. Don't act anymore. I don't want to see her in the Mario movie playing Daisy. No. Hell no. We got to get someone who can act. Because like, oh, Daisy could be played by a Hispanic, yeah, but I mean, Princess Peach is played by a Hispanic, but she worked because Anna Taylor-Joy can act. At least. This is the bridge scene. It reminded me of Fantastic Four 2005. Not that abomination last year. I don't get why that movie got praised and it's flopped. Up here, I need a hero. Again, Mario put this song in the movie and the movie made $1 billion. So suck on that, Disney. I love that song. Shrek 2 was one of the first. Well, actually, the first time I heard that song in the movie was a Short Circuit 2. It's a great song. You got to use it right. It did remind me of Fantastic Four. Because that was also a suspension bridge, but in New York City, not in Philadelphia. I do have problems with this movie, but I don't hate it. I still prefer the first one, though. That was the best DCU movie for me. No! This is like Mario when he's doing the obstacle one. Yeah, I love that song. You see why I can't play the footage of this? Because this song is copyrighted. I'm Brody. He looks just like Jack Quaid. Him and Jack Quaid, they look like they could be brothers. I love that costume, by the way. Also, any of these DC movies are better than Eternals. Even the worst ones. I'd sit through Suicide Squad again over Eternals because Eternals is the most boring superhero movie I have ever seen in my life, guys. Yeah, I said it. Black Adam, this, and The Flash are better than Eternals because I wasn't as bored. Yeah, because she's stupid. She has the mindset of a 5-year-old. There's a reason in the first one, Megan Good had like 5 minutes of screen time. There's the Asian guy, yeah. And they got the whole cast back, except for Michelle Borth. She didn't come back at all. But it was too little too late, guys. But Mario is going to make $1 billion. And when it does, Josh, I'm going to cry like a little girl. You know why? Because I love Mario. He's my everything. When it comes to gaming, no other character has meant more to me in my life in 41 years. Yep, larger than life. That's why they gave him that song. That's why the first one made $1 billion. That's why even Chris Pratt couldn't ruin that movie because he's an icon, guys. God, I love that movie. I enjoy this movie despite its flaws and despite it flopping. I don't care because it's not Eternals. Even Josh could be like, I'm never reviewing that. I'll get 2 views. It's one of the worst movies ever made that Marvel has done because I was bored out of my gourd. Within the first 20 minutes, I'm like, you lost me. And by the hour mark, when there was the gay kiss, I'm like, yeah, I'm like, screw this movie. This is 15 minutes into the movie. Well, 14 minutes. And there's already an action scene. And you blew it. And it collapsed. Next scene, it's... Again, because they didn't have a plan. I'm not afraid to express myself. I don't care. That's why I'm not worried about Supergirl flopping because she got over it. Yeah, last year, even though she only had like 2 minutes. I don't vape and I don't use TikTok. Yeah, that's a reference to Catwoman. Mhm. As long as DC keeps trying, I'll keep watching their movies because they had a rough 2020s. I mean, Wonder Woman 84 did a lot worse than this. Yeah, it was a sequel that people were anticipating, and it wasn't even released in theaters. It barely was, and then it was on HBO Max. Organic chemistry. Grace Fulton or Grace Curry, she's gorgeous, man. She has that dark hair I love so much, and that very very pretty face. I think she's a beautiful girl. I saw somebody at Comic Con with that costume. The I saw several of the Shazam family at Comic Con. The red, mainly Shazam and Freddy's costume. You know the blue costume. You were a spider dog. I'm from the U.S. There's a reason they're not going to put Megan in Avatar because James Cameron can't put people that can't act in their leads. Even though I don't think Sam Worthington can act, but hey, what do I know? He thinks Australians are Americans and they're not. It's the CG that saves James Cameron. Because I'm like, Darla's older in this one, right? She's not 5 years old. Like in the first one, she was like 6 or 7, I don't know, or 8, I don't know. But in this one, she's supposed to be a teen. Plus, Megan Good has so little energy in this movie. Like, yeah, not right now. Gal's just gonna keep acting in other stuff, but regardless of the racist people that don't want her to act. In the comics, this is his sister, not an adopted sister. Because Lego Shazam, Lego Shazam had Mary at the very end of the film, and it said, "Is this your sister?" I'm so close with my sister. Yeah, what would I do without her? She's my better half. She makes me sane. You're so lovely. We know this universe had to reboot, and now we're going to get new characters and returning characters. Yeah, I mean, we got Green Lantern back. We never thought we would see Green Lantern again. I get it. It's a metaphor. That's a cool shot. It looks like the new He-Man movie, which I'm not seeing. I don't like the lead guy, and He-Man hasn't been popular since the 80s, guys. That cartoon on Netflix got a mixed reaction, but it wasn't a huge hit. It wasn't like Stranger Things or that Jurassic World cartoon. There's the Blizzard from the first movie. Because I was upset when this bombed, but when Mario made $1 billion, I'm like, good, we're gonna get more of that, which is what I wanted anyway. Also, Guardians 3 did really well as well. Jamon Hansu, they should give him more work and give him a big role, not just a cameo. Well, that's a foreshadowing. Him against Black Adam would have made more sense, but The Rock was like, "I'm not gonna fight you." I'm like, "Yeah, again, you weren't in charge of the DCU, Brock. You know that." No one, no one is above anybody. James Gunn is in charge of DC now, but that doesn't mean that he can save everything. Look at the Suicide Squad. That was a flop. The only thing that spawned from that was Peacemaker, which we'll get to that soon. And it was a good spin-off. Some of the characters, I still don't care about them. I gotta finish that second season. Because Black Adam came out right before this, and that should have been a hit. Again, these characters feel like they're from another movie. They don't feel like a Shazam villain. They only put them because The Rock couldn't come back. And they should have had him, but here comes our introduction to, yes, I know what this girl did, guys. Don't mention it in the comic section. Leave it be. Hello, Rachel Ziegler. She doesn't sing in this movie either, which is a good thing, because she can sing. She had to do this movie because she said during COVID it was hard to find work after West Side Story. Yeah, okay? Yeah, there's two idiot bullies from the first film. Again, girls don't want to be approached two at a time. She has a nice tan. Josh is like, they're gonna kill you because you're doing a movie with Rachel Ziegler. Like, she's not the worst actress I've ever seen. I've seen worse. There's Batman, Dietrich Bader. Yes, he did Batman's voice. I still prefer someone like Haley Steinfeld or Haley Lou Richardson, but that's only because of my preference. Because I like girls that are not Hispanic. They're not in my top 5. They're cute, but they're not in my top 5. I think Iman Vellani is cuter than her. You know, Miss Marvel. I don't think she's a horrible person. Yes, she said some stupid things, but please don't mention it in the comment section. Don't. I know what happened last year. You don't have to tell me. Because I'm like, any actor I could do a podcast for. It doesn't matter. We know. We saw the first one, and he stole a lot of scenes. He stole a lot of the scenes in the first one with Zachary Levi. Who picks on a handicapped person? I mean, a real handicap, a person that can't go barely walk. I can't call an autistic person a handicap because I'm like, it's of the mind, it's not of the body. Let's just say that. I don't think it's the same thing. It's not like somebody in a wheelchair that's autistic. That's something completely different. Josh, you can walk. You just choose not to. I walk every day. I have to, even if I just walk down the stairs, because I need exercise. I don't want to get a stroke. I love doing these videos. Ooh, that looks painful. At least the CG looks finished in this movie, mostly. It wasn't their fault that they didn't know a pandemic was gonna push the sequel for like 4 years. That's why, yeah, you gotta keep going. Paris, France. That's not Gal. She shows up at the very end. There's Gal's body, or a body double, but it's not her face. We're gonna get a new Wonder Woman, and I'm ready for it. I already made some options of someone that could replace Gal because no one could do it worse. I'll say that. That's not her face. Plus, Gal went from a lead to a cameo person. Yeah, that's just sad, man. Again, that's not her. This, this is a. This scene was weird when I saw this in the theater. People were laughing. Hey, if Wonder Woman was black, it wouldn't bother me. A black woman, though, not a man. I still think Thor: Love and Thunder has way worse comedy because it's way too much of it. Because that was a hit, but Taika Waititi thought he needed to have a joke every 5 minutes. I'm like, no, you don't. You can have time to breathe, dude. You don't need a joke every 5 minutes. You need the audience needs time to recover. You know that when Christian Bale was on screen, it wasn't funny, and then they get to all these jokes, and a lot of them, some of them are just not funny. It feels forced. The screaming goats, yeah, you didn't need that. The screaming goats, it was a joke that it was a one trick joke. You didn't need to have them screaming for the whole movie. It was just really annoying. And the Guardians are like in a cameo. That's it. Sabotage. If she went to Comic Con, what are people gonna throw things at her? You can't do that at Comic Con. You gotta accept people for who they are, even if they are outspoken, like me. People don't always agree with what I have to say. That's fine, but I'm not gonna change for anybody, especially the algorithm. I review what I want. I do streams of what I want, and I talk about who I want. Period. They're not going to put her in Mario or anything like that because I know people are going to be like, I hate her, I hate her, I hate her. Her and Jared Leto are probably two of the most hated actors now. There's one scene that made me emotional in this film, just like in The Flash. It's almost near the end of the film, like in the third act. Because even though people hate sequels to the DCU, because like none of the sequels were as popular as the first one. At least Marvel had a lot of sequels that people love. People love Infinity War. People love Winter Soldier. People love Civil War. People loved Spider-Man No Way Home. Yeah. DC never had that in their first universe. We know because in this movie she's like thousands of years old because she's from another time. Two sisters. Yeah. A Asian and a Hispanic and a Brit are all related. No, they're not. Plus, she turns good at the end, so she's not really a villain. She was drinking. Again, that's a stupid line. Eye doctor, she was drinking. Yeah, it's like Supergirl in the big at the end of Superman. That she goes to another planet to get wasted because she had problems, and now we're gonna see that this year. It can't do any worse than this, guys. It's one character, not five. Even if it's completely different from the TV show, it can't flop like the original movie from 1984. No, you're stupid, okay? She's not even black. I mean, she's Hispanic and Native American. That's not black. That's not black. You go from a light-skinned black girl to a Hispanic. That doesn't make any sense. They couldn't get Zoe Saldana because she was doing 4 more Avatar sequels. A year before this came out, you had Way of Water, which made a lot of money. But then last year we got Fire and Ash, and it didn't do as well because people are tired of the 3-hour running time. This movie's not 3 hours. This is this is about 2 hours with 10 minutes of end credits and 2 post-credit singers. Because you can't say Captain Marvel. Because Marvel has that name. If you say Captain Marvel, Marvel's going to be knocking at the door saying, "Ahem, can't take that name." Even though that is his name in the comics. They didn't give you a name because, again, it's a copyrighted Marvel Disney name, Captain Marvel. That's Harry Potter. Books flying, that's Harry Potter, guys. Again, a franchise that's already, it doesn't need a reboot. That remake, I'm not going to see it. Because the movies did the source material justice enough. You don't need a TV show with a younger cast that looks even younger than the cast in the original. Harry looks like he's 8 years old. It's like a little boy. Daniel Radcliffe was at least 10 when he did the first one. It would have worked if people didn't hate the Fantastic Beasts so much. Yeah, the pen. Steve. I am Steve. I'm doing a podcast for that. So if you jump into a lake, Josh, it's not my problem. I'm doing Minecraft in April. After Mario, I'm doing Minecraft. And I know people are going to be like, chicken jockey and all that. I get it. But it's a short movie. It's only 95 minutes. It didn't drag like Eternals. I'd sit through Minecraft any day over Eternals, as dumb as it is. At least the sheep scene, it's short. It's not the whole freaking movie. Like in the goat scene in Love and Thunder just goes on and on. In Minecraft, it's like, "Wah!" That's funny. That makes me laugh. It doesn't do that for the whole movie. It's a funny scene. I thought it was just, people just didn't get the joke. It was a huge hit. It made more money than any movie in 2023 that didn't make $1 billion. It made more than any superhero movie in 2023. Because this and Quantumania and the Marvels and the Flash and Blue Beetle and Aquaman and even Guardians, it didn't make $1 billion. Barbie was $1 billion hit in 2023, and Barbie and Mario. What was another movie that made $1 billion? Which Pixar movie came out in 2023? It was Elemental. That didn't make $1 billion. She's touching you. When they touch your hand or your leg, that means they like you. She's got nice legs. They're very thin, but so I still prefer a girl like Annika because Annika's absolutely gorgeous and she didn't do anything stupid. Gas. Celebrities can say stupid things, yeah. And he's way older than Rachel Ziegler. Or Ziegler, whatever, Ziegler. It's a Polish name. Yeah, he does look like Jack Quaid. It's so strange that they're not related because I don't. Is Adam Brody? I don't think he's a nepo baby because he's not Adrian Brody's son. So they just have the same last name. Yes, sir. Oh, you're gonna love it, Ziegler. If you went, I would not throw anything at you because I'm not a hateful person. Yes, I don't like Brits, but I stay the hell away from them at Comic-Con. I don't. I don't. I don't. I don't go to Comic-Con with visceralness. I don't do that because when Bayenga was there, I missed him. He was there on Saturday. I didn't go. So see, I can show some peace. I can have peace of mind. A stupid movie could be very entertaining if it makes me laugh. And Minecraft made me laugh. I liked it way more than the Emoji Movie. Josh just saw all the negative reactions. Like, this is one of the worst movies of last year. It's not. I disagree. I was entertained. It was 95 minutes and I laughed a lot. It was colorful. You had Emma Myers there. There was nothing to complain about. Wisdom of Solomon. It's Solomon, not Solomon. It's a Jewish name. Yeah, Zachary Levi. If you were wise like me, you wouldn't say something stupid like, "Oh, this movie flopped because the fans didn't show up." I did show up. I was dressed as the Flash in the theater, and people acknowledged me. Yet the movie flopped because it came out during the pandemic, and people were already waiting until it was on HBO Max. Athens. Yeah, they mentioned Comic-Con here and in Sonic 3. Yeah, there's this stock footage from the first movie with Mark Strong, who was at the very end of the movie. You should have destroyed it. Maybe you should have broken it in half and throw it in the ocean. Look at Grace's face. Three, because there's three sisters. Even though Anne and Thea. Sense, what are you, Spider-Man? That's gonna be a huge hit too. Josh is just afraid they're gonna rush Miles, even though this is the fourth freaking movie. This is not the first movie. This is the fourth one. I don't think they want to wait 10 movies to bring Miles. No, they have to do it soon, within the next 2 years. Because if they don't, it's gonna fail. Because Beyond is coming out next year. They need a live action Miles like right away. Freddy, you should. Now they could turn you back. No, you took your powers away. Yeah, Diedrich Bader. I don't like that they kill him off because he was Batman. She whispers in his ear and he dies. He does the happening. He jumps off the building. It's pretty dark. Well, they didn't like Batman the Brave and the Bold. This is a cool effect. It reminds me of Doctor Strange or Multiverse of Madness. And at least Rachel Zegler doesn't die in this movie. Like, well, Wanda, they said she died, but I think she could come back. Death is not permanent in a superhero movie unless the actor is dead, and she's not. Yeah, it's like Doctor Strange or No Way Home. The problem is during the pandemic, we got too many superhero things. That's why people got tired of it. Who knew? We don't need a superhero movie every 2 months or a show. We need time to heal. That's why Wonder Man did so well, because it was after Ironheart was completely demolished by critics. It is better, and it's getting a second season. And Josh was like, oh, he's a black character. Shouldn't have worked. Well, it did work, because Yahya Abdul-Mateen left DC to do Marvel, and it worked. And he doesn't have to be in Secret Wars. Lucy Liu is so hot, man. She's always been the hottest of the Charlie's Angels. And Bill Murray gave her a hard time. You're an idiot for doing that. Yeah, I said it. Poor Freddy. He suffers a lot in this movie. He's not a child anymore. He's a man now. This should have been him against Black Adam. How far are we in? 44 minutes into the movie. You can't rush things, but you can't take too long either, because when you take too long, people don't care. The only reason Top Gun Maverick made more money than this is because it was a legacy sequel and they brought back Tom Cruise. The original director couldn't come back because he was dead, guys. I'm calling a spade, you know? Sounds like Harry Potter. Ridiculous and all that. Yeah. That poor bridge. Now there's a barrier. They put the world in a dome, just like the Simpsons movie did this, except not with magic, because they didn't have magic in that movie. It was an actual dome. Nope, the powers don't work here. Also, Lucy Liu looks like Xena in this movie. I want to meet her because she's done so many things that I've enjoyed. She did Kung Fu Panda, Charlie's Angels. I didn't like X versus Sever, but nobody liked that movie. It's so horrible. She's not the problem though. She was just doing her job. Also, Payback. That's one of the hottest things she's ever done, and that was before Charlie's Angels. When she came out in that latex outfit, I was like, "Oh my god, you are so sexy, man." Poor Freddy, he's in prison in this one. In the first one, he got captured by Mark Strong's character, but here he's like thrown in a dungeon, literally, with the wizard from the first movie. It's what they Luigi'd him. Remember when Luigi was put in prison? He's not Hagrid. Yes. Yeah, Freddy does have some funny moments in this movie. Arcane. Yeah, that's a game that they made into a Netflix series. Freebie. Again, it's a prison. Some people die in prison. It's literally like a dungeon, like they do in Game of Thrones or something like that, or something like that. Yeah, Grace is married now. Good for her. She's a beautiful girl. She should have multiple babies. She's so lovely. I would love to meet her at Comic Con. Like, you're very lovely. What I'm gonna hide how I feel, guys. I don't do that. People don't do that. They shouldn't do that. You have something. If you feel something, you got to let it out. As long as it's not something toxic. I mean, I met Catherine Newton the same year this came out, and even though Quantumania flopped, people still loved her. She's adorable. I mean, Ready or Not 2 did okay, right? Let me see how much Ready or Not 2 did. Steve is a pen. In Minecraft, he's the guy with the beard that gets them out. So far it's made 16 million and the budget is 14. So it's made his budget back, and it's a small budget, so and it should kill on streaming for Halloween, Ready or Not 2. It did a lot better than Abigail and Quantumania and Lisa Frankenstein. At least it made its budget back. It just didn't do as well as the first one because it came out years later, and you have a new lead. The pen thing is kind of interesting, but again, that's from Harry Potter, guys. The floating books, yeah, I remember that from the first movie. You saw a black apple. They send her a letter that's from Harry Potter as well. You know, there's a lot of Harry Potter references in this. The first movie did reference it, but this movie has a lot of references to it. I mean, the floating books and the letter that they send to Harry, you know, to go to Hogwarts. Yes, it's the same thing, guys. It is the same company, Warner Brothers. Of course, they don't care about the DC characters as much now because they're going to get sold to Paramount, but we'll see. But hopefully, Supergirl and Clayface do well because they already got made. So I want to see. There should be a trailer for Clayface around spring or summer. Like by Comic Con, they have to have a trailer for Clayface in San Diego Comic Con. The guy Helen Mirren because they couldn't get uh what's her face was already dying, you know, from Harry Potter. What was it? McGonagall. Um, there it is. There's a flying piece of paper. Here's your Harry Potter letter on paper, not digital, because is not the answer. Yeah, again, we that's an Oscar-winning actress right there for the Queen. She was good in the Red movies. I like her in Red and Red too. That woman commits, even in a movie like this. It's a good drink. It's a very sugary but very tasty sports drink with electrolytes. Rachel has nice hair too. See, people like, I hate this girl. I wish she died. Don't do that. People stop doing death threats. It's not cool. It's a crime. It will put you in prison. Yeah. There's not liking a person, then there's death threats. You can't do that. That's you know, going against, you know, the laws of nature. You don't like somebody, just avoid them. I hate the hobo, but I don't want her to die because I'm not that cruel. Death threats are not cool, no matter who you are. It's not cool. Threatening somebody like that is a crime. In some countries, you threaten someone, they kill you. Yeah, we all have problems, kid. Don't do that. Don't do death threats. It's not cool. So many people get them, and I'm like, why? Why? Do you hate someone that much that you want them not to live anymore? That's wrong. I don't like Captain Kennedy, but she's gone, so we can move on now. There's the dragon. Yeah.
It's not cool because they did that to the cast of Star Wars since the prequels came out. Hmm. It's a good looking dragon. It still looks better than the dragons from How to Train Your Dragon, the remake, because that's just a rehash. I hated the movie. What was it? Tarot. But did I hate the cast? No, mostly I didn't. Aventika's doing stuff now, so we're almost an hour in. 56 minutes. Yeah, that's right. Touch her. The seed. Oh, like Mario Wonder. Exactly, Jeff. Who's Jeff? There's no Jeff in this movie. Sam Stakes, yeah, because this is filmed in Canada. You can tell. So my friend Evan would know these places because if they exist, because he's Canadian. It's funny because there's no Canadian actors in this movie. Yeah, steak. A steak sandwich. Those are good. I like a Philly cheesesteak sandwich. It's so good, man. I ate that before I went to see Infinity War. I needed to have my hunger, nourished before I went to go see that. Because that was huge, man. Hello. Those fries look good. She goes for it, man. And she's very old. Maggie Smith, that's her name. I forgot her name. Because Deadpool Wolverine came out a year after this and proved that yes, if you give the people what they want, they will show up. It's Solomon, not Saruman. Saruman is that's the villain in that's the eye from Lord of the Rings. Super old. That was funny. That was in the trailer. I know, and a lot of them are painful. The most recent ones have been painful. again, those movies are also too long. Not the first like four, but after five, I'm like, why are these movies over 2 hours? The first movie's an hour and 40 minutes. That's not 2 hours, you idiots. Universe. Yep, and Pedro's the first one to go. Wow, what a waste of that food. Yep, the Asian attacks the Asian. That makes sense. Yep, he smashed her into the floor. That's kind of fun. That's a nod to the 78 Superman. When he's drilling into the ground, yeah. And this could have been like Superman, but the thing is, the film failed because, again, all this going against it, and Black Adam flopping, that didn't exactly help. And I still enjoy this, despite its flaws. We're an hour in. I wasn't bored out of my mind. Like with Eternals, I'll never forgive that director for what she did. Chloe Zhao made the most boring superhero movie Marvel's ever released in the MCU. Yes, fight me on that, people. Every other movie that was flawed at least was less boring. The Thor sequels, the Ant-Man sequels, the Iron Man sequels, the Marvels. I'd sit through the Marvels any day over Eternals because it's not 2.5 hours. Yeah, give me Brie and her gorgeous face and Tiana Paris and Iman. They're all again. That's a stupid line, Megan. That's a stupid line. She didn't go to the eye doctor. I don't go to the eye doctor. My eyesight is perfect. I don't wear glasses. I don't wear contacts. I have perfect vision. I can see things forward and backwards and near and far. That's because I don't do this all day. That's cool that she knocks him into the wall. She's basically a female version of the villain in the first movie. It's an old British lady, person. Yeah, we've seen it. You're not going to beat Loki, guys. Tom Hiddleston did that when he was young, really young, and he proved it that he could carry a film as a villain. In the first story, he was a little bit wet behind the ears, but by Avengers, yeah, Loki made his presence known. That was pretty awesome. He does have his moments, even though he has a big mouth. Again, you work for Disney, Zachary Levi. How could you let this happen? I mean, he did Tangled, the movie and the TV series, and those were hits. You saw they went into the porta potty. Who goes into a porta potty? Those things are disgusting. It's disgusting. Ugh. Yeah, we do. It's a good line. I do like that line. Yeah, but the eye doctor thing, it wasn't funny in the first part. Yeah, that Skittles. That's foreshadowing for later in the film when they need ambrosia. They don't have ambrosia, so they use Skittles to feed that horse. Yeah, it is because Rachel Ziegler's in her 20s, Lucy Liu's in her 50s, and Helen Mirren's like in her 70s or 80s now. She escaped the yellow M&Ms. I mean Skittles all over the floor. What? No. She took the apple. She burned through the thing. What, you didn't see that coming? Just like Loki in the Avengers. That also looks like Harry Potter. Remember the floating doors? Let me lie down because we still got another hour to go and the end credits. And the chat's pretty empty today because it's a Sunday. But hey, I had to do this because next Sunday's Easter. I'm not doing a podcast on Easter Sunday. I got to do work. After this, I got to go throw the garbage out and the recycle. It's a black apple. It's different than the one in Snow White. Well, actually, it's a gold apple. It was covered in coal or ashes or something. The golden apple. Hmm. Again, it's all about apples, right, Josh? Or Eva Carlton and apples. She's so cute, man. I'm glad DC rebooted because with this new Superman, I'm all in. David Cornsweet already proved that he's a great Superman just in one movie. Cavill never stood a chance. Being foreign and doing this darker take, it didn't work. Butterflies. Yep, it's all about apples. Just don't just don't eat that apple. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Well, this is a golden apple, not well, a poison one. Plus, 2023 was not a bad year because we had the really loud haunted house, and I love that movie. You guys saw my reaction to that last year. That came out in September, not October, and I loved it. Loved it, loved it, loved it. It was my favorites of the year. Yeah, Billy's barely in this movie. There's one more scene that he does that's I get kind of emotional with because I don't know. It's just the him and his stepmother, his adopted mother. It's pretty emotional. Also, there was a dragon in Harry Potter in Deathly Hallows had a giant like gray dragon. I know I played the game, so she's not. It's lying. Yep, you knocked it down. I got your apple. Yep, there we go. His crutch. Yeah, they just have to touch the staff. At least I didn't upchuck last night. That's good because I ate earlier. I didn't eat right before I went to bed because it's not good to eat. Calypso. That's an actual DC villain, I think. So, yeah. And they got Razzies for this performance. It's not that bad, guys. I've seen worse performances from other actresses that year. It wasn't Lucy Liu's fault or Helen Mirren. Giving them Razzies for a superhero movie didn't make any sense. This isn't Fan Snorstick. That's way worse. Or even last year's movie, which I'm like, I don't get the praise for it. It flopped just like this did, and people are not buying them. That's why they're not going to come back after Doctor Doom beats them. We won't see them again. They're going to recast them and act like this never happened. Like Marvel does all the time. Because Zachary Levi was in Marvel and then they killed him off. He was in uh, Thor: The Dark World and Thor: The Ragnarok, and they killed him off. This is the scene that made me cringe in the theater. That's my mom's name. Not normal. Yeah, again, we don't care. Yeah, we don't care because I'm. That's not funny. Yeah, he has more screen time than Jeff Goldblum had as the Wizard of Oz and Wicked, and I'd rather see this than Wicked because it's not 2.5 hours. I'm gay. That's not funny, DC. Stop making your characters gay. It's not. You're not. It's not progressive if it's a sinful lifestyle. Can't got it? Yeah, I said it. Here's the dragon scene. This dragon scene's cool. That's the stupidest thing they could have done to this character. I do like dragons. I think dragons are cool. Even in the worst movies of all time. I did like Dungeons and Dragons more than that because I cried at the end and I was not expecting that. The Honor Among Thieves, I was not expecting to get emotional from a D&D movie, but I did. And I laughed more. There's some actors I don't like in that movie, but again, that's not my fault. If this is the scene that made me emotional in the theater, I got choked up a little bit. Grace, you are so beautiful. At least the family is back. They actually do something at the end. Yep, they turn them back into kids or teens because they're teens in this one. They're not little boys and girls like in the first one. And they do mention Game of Thrones, of course, because this was a few years after Game of Thrones ended, and then they did House of the Dragon. I didn't see that show, so I'm not going to base Millie's acting on that. I will see her as Supergirl in her own movie without it being a cameo. Because the movie flopping doesn't affect me because I'm like, I'm not the one that made it. So if I still enjoy it, it doesn't matter. But then there's movies that flop that I don't get why they flop, like Dread. It's just Mary without her cape. It's the same actress. Because in the first one, it was Michelle Borth. The Marvels did a similar scene. He has to save her. Yeah, it's the same scene from the Marvels, except that's earlier in the film. This is the second time Billy saved her. In the first movie, remember when she's walking down the street and she almost gets hit by that truck, and he saves her. Is it a truck? Yeah, with the car. Philly Stadium. Yeah, that's it's similar to at the end of X-Men Days of Future Past that the Magneto lifts a stadium. Yeah, that's similar to that. Both cuts, by the way, because that's in the extended cut as well, the road cut. I would have said Dark Knight Rises, but I don't. Yeah, man, she still looks sexy, man. Lucy Liu. It's just, oh. She still has that amazing dark hair and the squinty eyes and those sexy legs. Ugh. Yeah, call me a horn dog all you want, Josh. At least I know who I am. At least I'm not gay. At least I'm not part of that group because that's not just not for me. I'm into women. Everything about a woman is artistic and appealing to the eyes and the touch. When I shook hands with Rachel, not this Rachel, Rachel Lee Cook, her hand is so soft. There's that tree, yeah. Toyota, yeah. There's also this movie doesn't have as much product placement as the first one. There's product placement. There's Josh. You don't have to hide anything, Josh. People can't understand. Yeah, they will. Miles just don't do him properly. He is gonna do it. He's not in the movie, but they're gonna mention him. I bet the black guy is like, I'm secretly Miles' son, yeah, father. Yeah, they're probably gonna reveal that because they're gonna pull a Star Trek Into Darkness where it's like John Lark. There is no John Lark. It's Khan. Except that was done bad because they're just copying a better movie. Oh yeah, the original Billy Batson's in the scene from the Shazam '70s show. Yeah, he's in it. He has a small cameo. I was like, oh, that's him. Philadelphia Symphony. Even though it's not Philadelphia, this is Canada, clearly. It's very clean. This is when the monsters show up. Yeah, this is similar to another movie. Another movie that had all these monsters? Well, the first one had monsters at the end. A stinger. Again, yeah, just stare at it. That'll keep it from hurting you. Just run. The Chimera. These are mythical creatures. Yeah, kind of like Fantastic Beasts, I would say, because that's another Harry Potter reference. Yeah, I would say Fantastic Beasts or Clash of the Titans or something like that. Harpies. The effects look fine. Minotaur, a Cyclops. It's not as good as Ray Harryhausen, but it looks fine for the time. Because Harryhausen was dead way before this movie came out, before the first one came out. His effects still hold up because I did 20 million miles to Earth, and that movie, the effects are still fantastic, even decades later. because they didn't use any computer effects in that. Yep, the mythical creatures of Greek mythology. And the thing is, Rachel Ziegler's younger. I think she's younger than Jack Dylan Glazer, right? I think so. Let me check how old he is. Grazer, not Glazer. I said Glazer. 22. No, she's older than him, but not by not. She's 24. No, she's older than Wonder Woman. She's only 24, so she's 2 years older than him. Yeah. No, they're not kids, so at least it's a man and a woman, so suck on that, Eternals. And I know, yes, I know that Jack is bisexual, but again, I'm not dating him. No, this scene is this it hit me. I don't know why people like say this movie's terrible. This scene made me cry, guys. Because I have a mother named Rosa, so it hit me. It hit me a lot, and she's my real mother. I'm not adopted. Yes, it is. I'm not gonna hesitate, Josh. In 3 days, I'm seeing Mario, and things are gonna change after that. It's not this scene. It's after this. It's a really emotional scene, guys. It hit me in the theater because I love my mom so much. I don't know what I would do without her. Yeah, because she said I want to see the real you. It's emotional. It's the one scene in the movie that hit me like really hard. And but what you call it? S- Asher Angel sells that scene because he's very subtle and he can act. People are like, oh, you're a crybaby. No, I feel I'm here. I'll make it early later today. Okay, I'll answer that and after this is done. That's their uncle. Doesn't kill her though, because at least Helen Mirren's in the movie. She's not like a cameo. She has more screen time. Her and Lucy Liu and Rachel have more screen time than Mark Strong does in some scenes. That is a cool effect. I like that. I do like her powers. It was very Doctor Strange or Multiverse of Madness or even Spider Man No Way Home. Again, those are better movies, but that's only because they were successful and Marvel at that time couldn't do any wrong. When even when Multiverse of Madness came out, it still did well. It just didn't make a billion because again, you added America Chavez, who should not have been in the film because she's gay in the comics and she has two moms like Clyde has two dads, which is not needed in my entertainment. I'm sorry. Love Clyde in the Loud House, but he could have had one father or a mom and a dad or just his grandmother could have taken care of him. Family's about love, not the bloodline. I do like to have a van like Vanzilla. No, not the windshield wipers. No. Yeah, she reads. There's the pen. Yeah, I do like the pen. It's a good effect. Ambrosia, but again, they don't have a. Yeah, there is one. That's a chimera. The unicorn to see later in the film. It's a black unicorn. Ambrosia. Caverns. Ambrosia. They don't have it here. Skittles. That's the candy version of ambrosia. Grace, you're so good, man. I think she should have been She-Hulk because she would have been a better choice than Tatiana. Even though I think Tatiana did the best she could, it was just the writing was all over the place. Yeah, it's funny. The character of Rosa, she's the one that gave me the emotional scene again because she has that motherly instincts. Khaleesi, get it? The dragon lady, Daenerys from Game of Thrones. That's for Josh because he's obsessed with British chicks. Him, Evan, and a bunch of other people on Facebook. Hey, that's your choice. Amelia Clark, I prefer Millie because at least Millie's gonna be Supergirl. Amelia Clark did Secret Invasion. Remember that? That was terrible. That was god awful compared to this. This was at least fun. Here's the cameo from the original Billy Batson. He's in the background. Watch. Dunkin' Donuts. Yeah, there he is in the red shirt. He said Captain Marvel again. Yet Disney did not knock on their name. That's his original name in the comics. I'm shocked that they said it in this movie. Millie says, see, she will. Critical Drinker's an idiot, Josh. He's a grifter. I'm not a grifter. It's the passing of the torch. Hmm. I would love to see her at Comic Con. I really want to see her. Her or Rachel. I don't mind. My sister met Zachary Levi, I think 2 years ago. Yeah, 2 or 3 years ago. He signed my Blu-ray of the first Shazam. How far are we in? Like 90 minutes? 91 minutes in, yeah. Yeah, this is not a unicorn that you would think. It's actually creepy looking. It's like a black horse with a horn on it. It's not cute and pink or white. It's not like My Little Pony. I know those are ponies, not unicorns, but and at least in this one, the candy actually serves a purpose in the movie, unlike the Snickers bar in Jurassic World Rebirth. That is creepy looking. Like if I see a horse that looks like that, I'm gonna run. It is the year of the horse, by the way. I never saw Death of a Unicorn, from last year. Green eyes. Oof. Horses could be very dangerous. They won't eat you, but they could run you over. You could fall off of them if you ride on them. There it is. Taste the rainbow. Yeah, I know. A slow mo shot. What's the weather like right now? Hold on. Yep, it has to eat the candy because they don't know what ambrosia is. It's 42 degrees. I know. It's gonna rain tomorrow. What time? Well, it's not gonna rain tomorrow morning, so I guess I could go take the bottles then. I don't have any major plans except for Mario. I'm gonna go see that Wednesday night. Hey, nobody complained that ET was being fed with Reese's Pieces in that movie, and that movie made Reese's Pieces popular. In some scenes, it's a real horse. I think when she's petting it. Yeah, there's more of them. Hmm. Of course, I love eating Skittles. And while this climax is not as good as the first one, I still like it better than again Eternals. I was dying for the movie to just end. If this was Eternals, this would be the second half of the second half of the movie. I'm like, no, not the third act. They're riding the horses. Yeah, these unicorns can kill. No, they can't say that. So this is a PG-13 movie. Even the Punisher is not going to say that in Spider-Man. If this was Peacemaker, they could say it like twice at least. And I prefer Shazam with the white cape instead of Superman in that. Again, clear. She commits, man. I like this movie. This is not horrible like Superman 4 or Batman and Robin or Spawn or Steel. There's way worse DC and Marvel movies than this. Yeah, and well, Spawn is not Marvel or DC, but Like I said, there's worse comic book movies I sat through in this decade. And again, Eternals is one of the worst like I've ever seen in the theater. I was so disappointed. I was like, this movie could have been a half hour shorter and had characters I actually care about, not these knockoff wannabe Justice Leaguers, Power Rangers, freaking whatever they are. It just didn't work, guys. It failed. It was so bad the Eternals are not even mentioned in Avengers Doomsday. I know that. They're not gonna be mentioned. Only that Captain America movie mentioned that island from the Eternals. That's it. That dragon does look cool though. I do like it. Because How to Train Your Dragon, that made money, and I don't why. It's the same freaking movie. Why would you want to see a 2 hour version of an animated film that came out in 2010? That's not even 20 years ago. That was 16 years ago. I don't want to see an inferior version of a movie. I can see the original. Thanks. Like a Moana. I don't want to see Moana. I'd rather go back and watch the animated version. This remake is gonna suck. We all know it. The Rock's hair looks fake. Yeah. As Maui, he just looks fake. The movie's almost over. Freddy's pretty strong. He gets a big part in this movie. He gets an arc in this movie. He's not like barely in the film. You. He has the blue eyes from Dune. Of course, Dune was a huge hit. Josh thought it would fail because Denis Villeneuve's movies were Critical Drinker's an idiot. He thought Superman was gonna fail and it made 600 million. So suck on that, you fraud, you freaking leprechaun. You're just mad that you're not getting the gold. Yep, he grabbed her. Yeah, it's a wooden dragon. There are way worse movies that came out in 2023. Mm-hmm. Way, way worse. I thought Blue Beetle was worse because I don't like I'm not a big fan of Mexican culture. It's not my thing. I didn't like Coco and I didn't like that. And I don't like the Casa Grandes. No. They're lame. They're just a lamer version of the Louds. They're not interesting, they're not funny, the girls are not cute either. Sorry. Give me Lenny, Lori, and any of these other girls over was it Ronnie Ann and her sisters? Yeah, I don't care. It's weak. That's why that show only had like 3 seasons. Loud House is still going on, so suck on that. I do like the sacrifice at the end. The musical score, I like the musical score. And this is the same director. It's not like they changed directors in production like they did with Doctor Strange. That had a different look because the first Doctor Strange was done by a horror director, Derrickson, and then the sequel was done by Sam Raimi, so it was going to be different. And then my hand's asleep. It's nighttime. There's the dragon again. I still think the second post credit scene is just a remake of the first one because it's just let's do the same scene him writing on the wall again, and it leads to nothing because Mark Strong's not coming back. Harold and the Purple Crayon was way worse than this. That was a bad movie because even with its lower budget and shorter running time, it was bad. Yeah, it's not as powerful as Spider Verse, Josh, but I'm like, I didn't get emotional with that for some reason. I guess because his scene with his mom didn't hit as much for me. I guess because I don't know. I don't think it just Across the Spider Verse is just too long. It was way too long. It was this long and it didn't need to be this long. It should have been under 2 hours. They just dragged it out. And the third one, I hope it's good, but I'm like, I don't need it to be 3 hours, Marvel and Sony. Don't you dare make it 3 hours. You're not telling an epic story like Lord of the Rings. You need to get to the point as fast as you can. Learn from the mistakes of The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker. Making a movie longer doesn't mean it's better, because it's not. I mean, the second Spider Verse was the longest animated movie done by an American studio. Because there's animes that are longer. I'm not hesitant. I just don't make it 3 hours, Josh. If it's 3 hours, you're not going to see it in the theater. I know you aren't, because that's a long sit through. It's a cartoon, under 2 hours. I think you can do that. You don't need 45 characters. 2 hours. That's all you get from me. Not 2.5 hours. Not 3 hours. Because if it's 3 hours, it's gonna flop. Because people saw Avatar and it's like, yeah, this doesn't need to be 3 hours and 17 minutes. It could have been much shorter. When movies are too long, no racial profiling. Just make the movie long enough. Don't make it 2.5 hours or 3 hours. Because Mission Impossible could have been much shorter, but they have to bombard it with subplots and scenes that go on too long, too much explaining instead of just doing. This movie has a lot, but it's not too long. Black Adam was under 2 hours. This was a pretty epic scene in the theater when I saw this. When he says Shazam, I was like, that gave me goosebumps. We knew Billy wasn't gonna die and stay dead. The main character of your movie. I don't think the film's terrible. I've seen much worse. People were just disappointed because the first one was so beloved. That punch right to the face. Stuff this December will show up. Yeah, they will show up. They'll have a trailer for Jumanji 4 or whatever it's called by summer. Not now because it's still early in the year. So it's only March, and April starts in a few days. I can't wait because April's only 30 days, not 31, and winter is over. The cold weather will disappear for a while, and I could be in nice warm weather over 50 degrees. His costume looks like Black Adam now. You just got to do another podcast, Josh. Pick a movie and just do it. That's not that hard. I chose this one because I wanted to do the second one. I'm still not doing the Flash yet. That's probably going to be last. Mainly because there's no Flash movie this year. You got Supergirl. I did Supergirl 1984. You got Spider-Man. I did all those movies except for Amazing Spider-Man, but those are so bad. The Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, they're just long and boring and there's too much in it. I really like this scene. Yes! Right in the stomach. You don't have your entire collection, you will, Josh. You have to move. You guys got to unlock it. I did. I got a bunch of stuff to see in the month of April and May because one of them is for May because May is Asian month and Pacific Islander month. Yep, so it turns back to dust. This is on Max, but I couldn't stream it on Max. I don't have Max on my computer. There goes the tree. It turned to ash. All the creatures disappear too. They turn to dust. It's like the ending of Infinity War or Endgame when Thanos and his army just turned to dust. An hour and 48 minutes in. We're almost done. This didn't make me as emotional because I'm like, they're not going to kill off the main character. You can barely see anything. It's so very, dark. But Solo, the whole movie was like this. You could barely see what was going on. And who brings him back? Wonder Woman in her cameo. Man, my fingers are still asleep. I haven't done it since Blade. Well, you have to do one, Josh. Because the Power Rangers movie did this too. They will watch that. You're gonna kill off the main character in your movie. Deadpool didn't even die, guys. In Deadpool 2, he dies and then he's like, no, it's not your time because you're gonna kill the franchise. I'm like, of course not. We all knew that Deadpool was gonna live. You can't kill off the main character. In Endgame, of course, Iron Man was gonna die. He sacrificed himself, but there were other characters in there. And that wasn't retcon. That's gonna continue even in Doomsday. They're like, It'll be years later. Like, really, they're gonna kill off a character, the main character? Yeah. They didn't even do that in the Flash. That's a picture from the first movie. Yeah. Yeah. Again, you're not gonna hear that. You're not gonna hear that in the DCU. They're gonna get somebody else to play her. That's fine. She didn't show up in Blue Beetle because she couldn't even save that. That movie was dead on arrival. After the Flash flopped, yeah, they were like, reset it. Let's just start over. And it worked. Superman was a huge hit. It made more than this and the first Shazam. So also, Gal's movie's first movie made money, but it didn't make a billion. Why? Because there's a lot of racist, anti-Semitic idiots out there that don't like Israeli chicks. Again, that's not me. If you see my wall, if you've seen my Facebook post of Natalie Portman, yeah, she's Israeli too, and yet she's been in billion-dollar hits. So suck on that, you racist idiots. Because the Phantom Menace made $1 billion recently, like a couple years ago when they re-released it, it made $1 billion. So ha. Yep, that's what's gonna happen in spring, Josh. Flowers are gonna bloom. Her hair is so beautiful, man. Would love to touch it. She got her powers back. Yep, they do see each other a couple years later, but again, we're not talking about that movie because I know how much hate it gets. It gets more hate than this movie does. Just if someone could say you have amazing hair. Mm-hmm. No, that's Marvel, not DC. I would love to meet her. And this is still shorter than Wonder Woman 1984. I didn't want to do that one because it's just too long. It's way too long. This one's shorter, and no, Asher Angel was already he was already 18 at when the first one came out on Blu-ray. Again, that's my preference. I like older women. I've met older women at Comic Con. Only one of them was younger than me, Catherine. Everybody else was older. Amy Doe Johnson, Rachel Lee Cook, and Karen Ashley. It's my preference. So Rachel didn't die in this movie because Lucy Liu and Helen Mirren, yeah, their characters are dead. They went back to their realm. There's the wizard. He shaved his beard. It looks good, yeah, with that hat and everything. Look at the wizard. Jaman Hansu. And he's a good actor. Keep using Jaman Hansu, guys. We don't know how much more time we have with him. Again, that's Spider-Man. It's actually Captain Marvel. We know. And that was Shazam too, guys. Not great, but not horrible like a lot of people. Actually, it's under 2 hours, an hour and 57 minutes. Let's skip this scene. I'll just use a 10-second one. I'll get to the post credit scene. Jack was good in the movie. Adam Brody was good. Megan good. No, she disappears. Like after she loses her powers as Darla as a kid until the end of the film. Here we go. I think the first movie is longer because they had more characters in it, and that was the Shazam: Fury of the Gods. Not great, but I don't hate it. This scene I did like. Of course, it's going to lead to a show that's still that had its second season last year. There's the characters from Peacemaker. Hey, Jennifer Holland and this guy, David Agdi or something like that. Amanda Waller. Let me see. They That's Steve Aggie. Yeah, he's John Economos. Yeah, something like that. It's a good actor. I like it. I like these two characters. They made her less depressing in Peacemaker season 2. That carried over because again, James Gunn, if he made it, it's going to continue over. He didn't make Shazam. They can't say F bombs here because it's a PG-13 movie. It's not the Justice League. It's just Justice Society. Yes, it is. He's not here. No. The Justice Society of America. Yeah, there's also the Injustice. Yeah, I like this scene. This made me laugh in the theater. Authority. Yeah, watch. The Avengers. That's awesome. Yeah. They mentioned Marvel. Of course they do. I mean, there's a movie coming out at the end of the year. I should be pumped for it, but I'm like, you're not going to top Endgame, guys. There's nothing you can do to top that movie. That movie was a masterpiece. You can't make it better. doing a sequel after years after the pandemic, it's just not going to bang as hard. And plus, it's a team we don't care about compared to the first 4 films. You don't have the Guardians. You don't have the real Avengers. This Fantastic Four team sucks. Let's face it, because it does. They thought it was going to save Marvel, and it didn't. This is the same scene. It's him riding on the wall, and Mr. Mine is there. We're not going to see Mr. Mine. I have patience, because Supergirl's coming out in a few months. 3. Mr. Mine. I know, he's a worm. Oh, it's the same scene. This is going to lead to nothing. Yep, he's going to crawl away. Yeah, again, why was that the scene? It's the scene from the first movie, guys. Anyway, that was Shazam Fury of the Gods. Thanks for watching, guys. Tomorrow I'll be doing a shorter movie, National Lampoon's European Vacation. Something short and sweet. I'll do it in the afternoon. So see you guys then. Yeah. See ya.